Welcome to the Blues Society of Northwest Florida's weekly podcast. I am your host, Paul Stadden, doing everything I can to make sure you get taken inside local, regional, national, and international blues bands and artists. This week, I'll be talking with Greg Lyon, a name you should all recognize, and the next act to be playing at the Blues Jams on Monday and Lily Marlene's at Seville Quarter. But first, let's take a listen to Greg's band, Lion's Limousine, performing Rambling. Joining me this week is Greg Lyon, who's going to be playing the Blues Jams this coming Monday at Seville Quarter. You can see him and his band rocking it out, and I really suggest that you do. Welcome to the podcast, Greg.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Well, let's start off about your journey into music. Obviously, your parents were a big influence. Did they kind of push you into music, or was it something that you just saw them doing and naturally gravitated toward?
Well, I definitely grew up around, guitar chords and mic chords and everything, and, just seeing my mom and my dad, just out there doing it. And I was pretty young, probably about 12 or 13, and I was listening a lot to, like, Jimi Hendrix and B.B. King and, Freddie King and all those old guys. It was just kind of like decided to try my hand at guitar, and that's how it began.
So the guys that you really looked up to were kind of more of the rock blues side, the Hendrixes of the world.
Yeah, well, right now, I'm a big fan of Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah.
Big fan of John Mayer.
Kind of more of the singer-songwriter guys too. I mean, you're talking guys who like to make their own way with their own music.
Exactly.
So actually, that brings me into my next question. Then, writing original music. Well, how do you approach writing a song? I know for me, it's always I got to think of the music first. Do you think of lyrics? Do you think of music? Is it a germ of an idea? How do you approach it?
Well, for me, it's just kind of a progression of it. It
okay.
doesn't really come out all at once for me.
Right.
But it's kind of like I'll kind of make something on my guitar,
okay.
and just kind of build it from there.
So you kind of jam it out. You like to jam it out and have it kind of be this thing that builds on top of itself?
Yes. I definitely like to jam it out and just kind of see where it goes,
Nice.
Not always try to dictate what happens,
Right. Well, are you a music theory kind of guy? Is it something where you've learned all these chord progressions, or do you just play purely by feel?
Well, I actually did go to school for classical guitar.
Nice.
I graduated from UWF with my bachelor's degree, but so I do, and I did take a lot of like jazz courses and everything there, and just learn just a lot of listening to jazz. So I do know a lot of theory,
right?
But I don't really like to, apply. It's good to know, but I don't like to, limit myself on the theory. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just kind of because I think it's good to learn it. And then, you can break the rules. You don't.
Yeah. Like this parallel fifths thing they always taught you, No, sometimes it works, just ask Black Sabbath about parallel fifths.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's, it's interesting hearing, like, I'm a big fan of, like, I love all kinds of music and, big fan of classical. So it's interesting when you, like, hear, like, a classical guitar player or something, play a rock and roll tune,
right.
Like put it in that style. I love that.
Well, is it something where you feel like it's really helped your blues playing to have these, going over the scales? I remember having to go over like the Segovia scales and in school and all that kind of stuff. Would you recommend to somebody that they do a lot of the classical to help them with their playing?
I think it's really good for your chops and technique.
Right.
But, as far as blues though, I don't like to apply just like all, the scales and stuff to
right,
blues,
right.
You know what I mean?
All right. That's fair. That's
definitely
fair.
more of a feel, but, it's good to know. It's good to know too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your original stuff, I know you've got one song recorded that people can hear. Do you have any plans? Number one, do you have any plans to do like a whole album or something? And where can people hear the music that you've already done?
Well, they can look up on my fan page, Lyon's Limousine.
Lyon's Limousine? Is that
where on the Reverb Nation page?
Okay.
That's where they can find all the music and everything. And as far as an album go, I'm still building material, but there is plans in the future to getting into the studio soon.
Very nice.
So, yeah, I can't wait.
Well, let's talk gear for a second. As an old guitar geek, I always like to talk about what people play. What's in your stable? What's your main stable of axes?
Standard Stratocaster right now, and I've had that guitar for about 10 years.
Nice.
It's kind of like, my go-to, but I do have an Epiphone Wildcat, which I also like to play a lot.
It's got those P90s in it. It sounds really muscular. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And it's a really, really great guitar. I love playing that thing too.
Nice.
But yeah, so I don't have I don't have too many guitars at my house. I got like those two electrics, and then I got my classical guitar,
right,
which is an Asturias, and then just a regular steel string acoustic guitar. So
everything a musician needs.
Yeah, exactly. And but I also love to play piano and everything like that.
Oh, nice.
A little bit.
Multi-instrumentalist. Do you play piano on your recordings, or you can leave that to somebody else?
Yeah, I usually leave that to someone else.
Well, tell me about the band. Tell me who's in the band. Who are the other roles, as it is?
Well, we got myself, obviously, and then we'll have Brian Morris on the drums.
Nice.
Who played with Kenny Neal for a long time.
Cool.
And, yeah. And then we'll have my buddy Walter Weekly playing bass. He's still up and coming as far as the scene goes, but he's a really good bass player.
Cool.
I've been playing with him for a while now. And we'll probably have my buddy Avery Green come out from to play trumpet and harmonica.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, awesome trumpet player. And possibly our good friend Ashley Bowers will be coming out to play saxophone too.
Oh, very nice.
So,
well, cool. You like a lot of brass in there, man. That's neat.
Yeah, so when it's good, we can have all the brass, the whole full horn section, but sometimes we don't always get that,
Well, that's too cool. That kind of leads me into my final question for you, Greg, and this is something that I try to ask people every single week, and it's a question on the purity of the blues, the necessity of keeping it specifically one thing, or is there room for blues rock, blues metal, or does it have to be stuck in one era, like Delta blues or Chicago blues? What are your thoughts?
Well, I do believe it's important to know the styles as what the style should be,
right.
And kind of what makes that particular style, like the Delta blues, and but I do believe that there's always a progression for the blues rock,
right,
and the blues really covers so much ground, that it's like it influences so much music already,
Right.
So it's I think it goes in a lot of different directions.
Okay. So it kind of filters into everything else too. I mean, there's so much that's based on it too. I mean, every heavy metal musician can point back to the blues. All the rock guys, they point back to the blues as really the genesis for what they did. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where would bands like modern bands like Metallica be without Black Sabbath? And where would they be without Cream? Where would Cream be without Robert Johnson?
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
And it's crazy you say that. I mean, like just the fact that that old blues was made here and then it kind of went across seas and then it came back.
Right.
The British kind of style. But really the blues is an American thing.
It's something proudly our own.
Yeah. Exactly. But people love the blues all over the place, So.
People do love the blues. People do love the blues. And if you love the blues, you can see Greg and his band playing at Lily Marlene's Monday night at Seville Quarter. Make sure you come by. The bands always start at 7 o'clock. And if you want to see this band play, you'll make sure you get here by 8. So, Greg, thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you guys play.
Cool. Thank you, Paul. Look forward to seeing you.
My thanks to Greg Lyon. I hope you'll all come out and see the band play this Monday. The Blues Society of Northwest Florida hosts the Blues Jams every Monday night with a solo act at 7, a band at 8, and the Jammers up at 9. So if you play an instrument or sing, come on over and get in on the jams. The Blues Society of Northwest Florida would like to thank the sponsors: Michael Johnson State Farm, Budweiser Beer, Lewis Bear, Seville Quarter, Paradise Bar and Grill, The Music Box and Gulf Breeze, Revolver Records, Blues Angel Music, ARC Music, and Five Sisters Blues Cafe. But we also need your help. Drop some cash in the drum when you come into the Blues Jams. It helps us send bands to the International Blues Challenge in Memphis every year. Until next time, I'm Paul Stadden, your host, reminding you to keep the blues alive.